questions 1 through 4 on the 2005 grade 12 Euclid math contest. If the point AA lies on the line 3x minus y equals 10, what is the value for A? 3x minus y is equal to 10. AA is on that line, so we can substitute it for our x value and for our y value. And therefore we get 3a minus a, and that gives me 2a is equal to 10, and therefore a is equal to 5. In the diagram, points A, B, and C lie on a line such that BC is equal to 2AB. What are the coordinates of C? Well, there's a few ways of doing this question. As always, I will do the short way. The first is, let's draw some triangles. And these are right triangles. The distance from here to here is really just from 0 to 2, if you look at the x-coordinates of points A and B. So that distance is 2. The distance from here to here is, looking at the y-coordinates, -1 to 0. So that is a 1. So therefore, this distance, I'll call it d, is easily calculated through Pythagoras. D squared is equal to 1 squared plus 2 squared. And that looks like root 5 is equal to d. Now, we want the coordinates of C, right? Well, if you're going 2 in that direction and 1 in that direction, then since the distance from B to C is double the distance from A to B, we probably have to go double those lengths. So if you're going from here to here, you would go 4. Just like how you went 2 in that direction, it's double now. And similarly, since you went 1 in that direction, this will be 2. So therefore, this distance, I'll call it big D, or I mean, you can call it whatever you want. BC, for example, is probably a better choice. And this was AB, whatever, it doesn't really matter. BC is therefore 2 squared plus 4 squared, all under the square root sign. And that is 4 plus 16, so root 20. And root 20 is 2 root 5. So there we go. We definitely have got double of that. So now we have to figure out the coordinates of C. Okay, no problem. I was here, and then I went 4 in that direction. So my x-coordinate went up by 4. So from 2 to up by 4 is 6. Y-coordinate, well, that's what we have to figure out next. I was here, and then I went up 2. So my y-coordinate was 0, and I went up 2. So now it's 2. And there you go. 6, 2 is the coordinates for C. In the diagram, triangles AOB and CDB are right angled, and M is the midpoint of AC. What are the coordinates of M? Well, let's first try to figure out this distance here from A to O and this distance here from C to D. Well, they've given us 2 right triangles, so obviously I'm going to work with those. AO, all squared, plus 40 squared, is equal to 50 squared. So if you do the math, you'll get AO is equal to 30. So that basically means that this point is 0, 30, right? Because it's on the y-axis. And in a very similar way, we can figure out the distance from C to D. So CD squared plus 48 squared is equal to 50 squared, like that. And if you do the math, you'll get CD is equal to 14. So this is 14, this distance. So that basically means that C, the coordinates, are, well, the y-coordinate is 14. That's pretty straightforward. But what about the x-coordinate? Well, the x-coordinate is all the way from the origin to D, and that would be 40 plus 48. So that's 88. All right, so we got the 2 points, A and C, and now we can find the midpoint. which is m. Midpoint formula, as you know, you just add the coordinates, so 88 plus 0 over 2, and then 14 plus 30 over 2, like that. And that looks like 44, and then 44 divided by 2, which is 22. And I think that's it. So that is the midpoint, and those are the coordinates. If 2x plus 3 and equals y, and 4y is equal to 5x plus 6, what is the value of x? Y is equal to 2x plus 3, and 4y is equal to 5x plus 6. Well, we can substitute one into the other. That should be pretty straightforward. So 2x plus 3, like that, is equal to 5x plus 6. And therefore, this is going to be 8x plus 12 is equal to 5x plus 6. 3x, therefore, is equal to minus 6. And therefore, x is negative 2. And I think that's all they wanted. What is the value of x? Part B. If a, b, and c are numbers such that these three equations, what is the value of a? All right. So we got minus 3b plus 7c is equal to negative 10. We've got b minus 2c is equal to 3. And we've got a plus 2b minus 5c is equal to 13. When I stare at this, these two here look very, I guess, workable. What's the right word to use? Very similar to what this looks like. If you add them, for example, I'll call this 1, I'll call this 2. If you add them, you get minus 2b plus 5c is equal to negative 7. And that looks very similar to that. It's just the only difference is I would have to multiply by negative 1. So I will do that. That will give me 2b minus 5c is equal to 7. And there you go. I just got the value for that. So that means a plus this, which is 7, is equal to 13. And therefore a is equal to 6. So there you go. A little bit of cool manipulation. You can figure out a pretty quickly. John and Mary wrote the Euclid contest. 2 times John's score was 60 more than Mary's score. 2 times Mary's score was 90 more than John's score. Determine the average of their two scores. So we have John plus Mary divided by 2. That would be the average. So that is what they want us to find. Okay, let's make the equations that the question stem gives us. 2 times John's score is 60 more than Mary's score. That's our first equation. Then 2 times Mary's score is equal to 90 more than John's score. All right, and that's what we have to work with. So lots of ways. I'll just add them. 2j plus 2m is equal to 150 plus m plus j, like that. Bring the letters over to the other side, and that gives me just m plus j is equal to 150. And then divide both sides by 2, and I will get 75 for m plus j over 2, which is exactly what I have to figure out. So there you go. That is the answer. If 2 to the power of x is equal to 2 times 16 to the power of 12 plus 2 times 8 to the power of 16, what is the value of x? 2 to the power of x, 16 to the power of 12 plus 2 times 8 to the power of 16. Okay, shouldn't be too bad. So first thing, of course, the 16 we can convert to 2 to the power of something, and of course it's 2 to the power of 4, and that's going to be to the power of 12. 2, the 8 is 2 to the power of 3, and that's to the power of 16. And then these guys right here, you multiply them, so it becomes 2 to the power of 48. And in a very similar way, you'd multiply those exponents, so that would become 2 to the power of 48 again. Okay, interesting. Now these, you add those, correct? So that becomes 2 to the power of 49. And this is exactly the same, 2 to the power of 49. Now I've got 2 of these, so it basically just becomes 2 times 2 to the power of 49, like that. And then again, I can add those exponents, so this becomes 2 to the power of 50. And that is 2 to the power of x. Since the bases are the same, the exponents are the same, and therefore x is equal to 50. If f at x is equals to 2x minus 1, determine all real values of x such that f at x squared minus 3f at x plus 2 is equal to 0. So we got f at x all squared minus 3 times f at x plus 2 is equal to 0. Well, f at x is equal to 2x minus 1, so substitute that in. And we get that squared minus 3 times 2x minus 1 plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we've got to do this expansion. So we got 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 minus 6x plus 3 plus 2 is equal to 0. So this becomes 4x squared minus 10x plus 6. Let's see here. We'll probably divide through by a 2. And that gives us 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. And I think this should factor, let's see here, 2x, x, 1 and 3. 3 here, 1 here, negative, negative. I think so. So that means x is 1 or 3 over 2. And that's it. That's what they wanted you to figure out. Six tickets numbered 1 through 6 are placed in a box. 2 tickets are randomly selected and removed together. What is the probability that the smaller of the 2 numbers on the tickets selected is less than or equal to 4? So our tickets are either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 in terms of the number that is on the ticket. And we have to select 2. So this is a probability question. So like all probability questions, immediately I will figure out the denominator. And the denominator is the total number of possible choices, selections. So in our case, from 6 we are choosing 2. So 6 choose 2 is our denominator. Okay? And if you're familiar with 6 choose 2, you know that is 6 factorial over 4 factorial over 2 factorial. And that is equal to 15. Now I have to figure out my numerator. And my numerator is based entirely on the criteria in the question stem. And that is that when you choose 2, you want the smaller of those 2 numbers to be less than or equal to 4. Since these numbers are relatively small in terms of the number of selections, there's only 15 ways that we can do this. I'll write them all out. Shouldn't take too long, right? So if I choose 2, those 2 could be 1 and 2. They could be 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 6. Or they could be 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 6. If I choose 2 out of these 6, they could also be 3 or 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6. The last few combinations, 4 and 5, 4 and 6, and finally 5 and 6. So as you can see, if you count these, there's 15 different possible ways that you can choose 2 from 6. Now let's circle the ones that meet our criteria, which is the smaller of the 2 numbers has to be less than or equal to 4. Well, that is true because those are all 1s. 1 is definitely less than or equal to 4, and 1 is the smallest of those 2. This one also. 2 is less than or equal to 4, and 2 is the smaller of those 2 pairs or 4 pairs. This one also. And this one is equal to. This is the only one that we don't circle. Yeah, interesting. So that means out of the 15, 14 of them match our criteria. Okay, that's okay, no problem. So our probability is 14 over 15. A helicopter hovers at point H directly above point P on level ground. Lloyd sits on the ground at point L, where angle HLP is 60 degrees. A ball is dropped from the helicopter. When the ball is at point B, 400 meters directly below the helicopter, angle BLP is 30. What is the distance between L and P? Let's start by labeling the angles. They tell us that HLP, this angle, is 60. And they also tell us that BLP, this angle, is 30. So if that's true and this is 90 degrees as shown, this angle must be 60 and this angle must be 30. And now we know that the ratio of the sides of a 30, 60, 90 triangle are going to be 1, 2, and root 3. So we can use that to figure out a relationship between these sides. So B to P, this distance right here, I will label, I'll call it Y. And P to L, that distance I will just call X. All right? So now I've got two 30, 60, 90 triangles. The first one is right here, BPL, so I'll draw that over here. And then we'll work with that one, and then we'll work with the other one later. So BPL is 60 degrees here, 90 degrees, and 30 degrees. And the ratio is 1, 2, and root 3, as always, for a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And we've got Y here and X here. So using that relationship, Y over X will be 1 over root 3, and therefore root 3y is equal to x. All right, so that's our first relationship. The next relationship we'll get from the big guy, the big triangle, like that. And let's label this one. So this will be, let's see here, this is 30 degrees, this is 90, and this is 60 degrees. So our ratio is 1, 2, and root 3 for the ratio of the sides. And this whole side, if you look at the diagram up here, is 400 plus y, correct? And this whole side is x. So in a very similar way, 400 plus y over x is going to be root 3 over 1. And if you cross multiply, you get 400 plus y is equal to root 3x. All right? And this is our second relationship. So we take these two and we try to solve for x. So let's see here, move this up a little bit, give us a little bit more space. So I can substitute one for the other, it doesn't matter which one you choose. We can just use, obviously, x, because that's what they want us to figure out. So 400 would be y, which is x over root 3, is equal to root 3x. Multiply through by root 3 and you get 400 root 3 plus x is equal to 3x, and therefore 2x is equal to 400 root 3, and finally x is equal to 200 root 3. And just to be complete, this is in meters. So there you go. There's your answer. 200 root 3 is equal to x. And x represents the distance from L to P.